Emily, are you okay? Are you scared? Well, don't be. He won't wake up, I promise. I've given him a heavy sedative. It's probably why you're feeling sleepy, too. We just wanted a private moment with you without Gabriel listening in. We've noticed in recent weeks you've become more aggressive. Can you tell us why?
He's been telling me to do things. Bad things. To hurt people.
Is that why you attacked Bobby Fay? But Bobby's twice your size.
Gabriel makes me strong.
Welcome back to the Haddonfield Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror franchises. I'm Mark.
I'm Tawan.
And today we're reviewing Malignant, released in 2021, directed by James Wan and written by James Wan and Ingrid Bissoud and Alexi Cooper. Go on. Can you give the people the plot summary?
Madison, a woman who begins experiencing visions of horrific murders only to realize they are real and happening in real time. As police investigate the murders, they discover a link to Madison's past, revealing that the killer is her parasitic conjoined twin Gabriel, who was previously surgically separated but remains physically attached to the base of her skull. The story culminates with Madison having to confront and reintegrate Gabriel back into her brain to stop him from continuing his violent spree. But before we get into our movie this week, we have some Haddonfield headlines to catch you up on. I know we haven't had these in a little bit, so let's get going. First up on the docket, me and Mark were excited for this news. The Mummy 4 is happening with Brendan Fraser.
Yes.
And Rachel Weisz returning to the sequel. Directed by Radio Silence of Scream.
Yes.
5, 6, Ready or Not, Abigail Fame. And
all of that's good. I'm sorry, but all of that is just yes. We did. Getting Brendan back. Honestly, since Brendan made his comeback with the with Doom Patrol and then with what was that movie
The
that he
Whale.
was in? The Whale. I was like, okay, he gained his star power back. And like every year he just kept on growing and growing. I was like, sir, this is the perfect time to just tell somebody that you want to come back as Mr. O'Connor. Like,
he's in another
tell
movie right
somebody.
now that's doing really good. I haven't seen it yet. I do want to. It's called Rental Family. I don't know if you've heard
I
of that
love
one.
his comeback.
Yeah,
I'm not too familiar like on like what happened to him, why he fell off, but apparently it's like a lot. So I love his comeback and getting Rachel to come back. I love old girl who they had in 3, but she wasn't my Evie O'Connor.
she wasn't.
Like, like throw that away. And then we got this grown ass son running around who looked like he was older than Brendan Fraser. It wasn't given.
I'm actually really excited for this, and it's funny because I watched the first Mummy movie like a couple weeks back. Just so happened to like put it on in the background while I was doing some like cleaning and whatnot, and I was like, "Yo, I forgot how much I like this movie, and it still holds up."
And the CGI isn't perfect, but that it's the CGI of the time, and I love
Which still
those movies.
like it's still not that bad in some parts, like
It's not.
especially for the time, like with what they were doing with Emotep's body, like how they
Hmm.
designed him and stuff. Like it still looks like really good considering the time, and I am excited for this. I'm so glad that they're making this happen. As you said as well, like if they're the two of them coming back for it, and We
And then
got
you have
radio
radio
silence.
silence.
Yes, like I think they're gonna do really good with this. Um, they could handle that brevity of like the comedy dipping into the horror with a little bit of like the action stuff going on. I think they're gonna handle it really well, and I'm um glad to go to see this duo back together again. Rachel Weisz, like she's always been great as well. Like this is gonna be fun. I'm just hoping for
I'm
a good
excited for
fun
this.
time.
I'm excited. I think with radio silence is going to be good.
Yeah, we will be seeing this in IMAX.
100%. We have to go opening night. Actually, there's no way. There's no other way to do that. We
Yep.
got to be there that first night because I wanted a mummy movie back so bad, and I thought all we were ever going to get is that Tom Cruise crap that nobody wanted to see. I don't
Yep.
even think Tom Cruise saw it. And I know we got this who's doing the mummy movie that's coming out soon?
Yeah, there's another one, a Warner Bros. One that is going to be from Lee Cronin, and we don't know the specific details of that one, but I'm assuming that one's going to be a little more horror
Traditional
oriented.
horror?
I feel like that
Okay.
might be more horror oriented just because Lee Cronin did the recent Evil Dead. So I'm wondering if that's just going to be a little more horror oriented. Um, so interested to see what's going to happen with that. But yeah,
I'm all in. And this just means that we gotta do our mummy retrospective very soon,
yeah,
where we cover
we'll
all
definitely
of
have
the
to.
mummies.
Um, and the writer of the screenplay for this will be a David Coggeshall, who actually did the screenplay for Orphan First Kill that we recently saw. Which, I mean, I didn't have any problems with the actual script or screenplay in that movie, so I mean that's pretty fine to me.
I'm okay
Um,
with that.
yeah, which going back into that bag of Orphan, which we just finished up here on Haddonfield Horrors. Orphan 3 is now underway filming. We just got this news recently. Isabel Furman is back as Esther, and all I gotta say is, can somebody adopt this damn child? Um,
I think that's the issue. They keep
yeah,
adopting her.
and the writer for Orphan First Kill, once again, David Coggeshall, he is returning for this one as well. And the director of this one will be William Brent Bell, who directed those movies, The Boy, about like that doll Brahms. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've never seen it, but I've never seen those.
Okay, yeah, the first one had Maggie in it from Walking Dead.
Mm.
But yeah, he directed those two movies. They were fine. I could see him being fine directing this as well. I could see it kind of has the same vibe. But yeah, this will be Orphan 3, and the movie is currently titled Orphans with an S. So wondering what that could entail.
This
Um,
bitch done got some. She done got pregnant. And she got her kids
bye.
on the scene.
Isabel Furman has teased that the third film will be wilder and crazier, and Dark Castle is excited to announce another terrifying chapter in the Orphan saga. With the past success of the first two movies and another thrilling storyline, we are confident Orphan 3 will be must-see movie for both current fans of the franchise and new fans alike. I'm just interested in where this story is going. Like, is this going to be that she was alive after the first one, or is because we know the Orphan First Kill is right before the first movie, so I'm assuming this would have to take place after the first one, or they're going to retcon some shit. We don't know. Um, so yeah, I'm interested to see where this is going to go. Orphan is just like I like him. So
I
I'm interested.
I didn't too much enjoy Orphan First
The first
Kill.
kill.
But I'm willing to stick with the franchise. One bad movie doesn't completely ruin it for me. So I'll see what's up.
Yeah. Moving on to some more recent news. This wait, when is this episode going up? Just so I can know when it's.
Thursday. I mean Friday. This Friday.
Oh, this is this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, in recent box office news, Predator Badlands, which opened the previous week, had the highest opening weekend in Predator franchise history. The film, which opened in the number one spot, um, made 40 million domestically at the U.S. box office, and worldwide is projected to reach 90 million based off its first weekend. I actually saw the movie. I liked it a lot. I really believe that the franchise is in a good spot with Dan Trachtenberg in charge right now. Some fans don't seem to believe it, but the not box office, but the reviews and receptions of his this is being the third one, the three installments that he's put into this franchise right now speak for themselves. Um, each of them have like in I think 85 or higher on Rotten Tomatoes, and even a little bit higher scores than that with the audience scores. So people are enjoying his movies. Prey was good. The animated Predator Killer of Killers was also really good. And now Predatorlands. And with the way that this movie went, we now have like the Weyland Yutani Company back in the Predator lore, which they were actually a big part of the movie. If you've seen it, and we know that there's going to be another sequel, or there's going to be a sequel to Alien Romulus, which we liked here as well. Um, so it's definitely going to be coming together for some Alien versus Predator down the line. Which, if Dan and you know the writers for either Romulus or whomever are on board to get to that point, I think we're going to be in for a good surprise once that eventually happens. Did were you able to catch Badlands this past weekend, Mark, or no?
No.
Do you think you're gonna eventually get around to watching that, or are we even gonna do a Predator thing with for Haddonfield
Um,
Horrors?
that I've been meaning to ask you and Ellie on this. Like, do we consider Predator horror? I mean, because even with Alien, we were kind of like skating because only really that first movie I consider horror. Everything after that has been
Or sci-fi?
sci-fi action, but both franchises are considered horror. I mean, even Dead Meat covered both franchises on the kill count. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd be down to do Predator.
Okay, okay.
I'm not doing the mashups though. Y'all would have to find me some. I will be gone for those 2 episodes because I'm not gonna be there for AVP. I'm not an AVP person. Like I'm all for my franchises crossing over, but those weren't good crossovers. And why
Would
was
you
my
watch a
good
new
sis?
AVP?
And why was my good sis Sanaya Lathan in that goddamn movie?
What do you mean? She was serving.
Would I watch a new one? It
Mm-hmm.
depends on who's behind it. It depends on who's behind it. It depends on if we can ignore the first 2 or 3 AVPs.
Feel like they probably wouldn't call back to those.
Yeah, like give those a reboot and I'm there.
Yeah, and I guess it was that Semi Connects Alien Earth has been renewed for a season 2. I still have yet to watch season 1, but I've heard nothing but good things from anyone who has watched it. I think you
It's
did watch
really
it
good.
already, Mark, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good. I wasn't going to watch it, but then I was over at a friend's house and he was watching like episode 4 or 5, and it was only like the last like 15 minutes of that episode, and I got completely locked in. And I waited for the season finale, and I went and binged all the episodes, and it's actually pretty good. Like it's actually a good story. It's an earthbound story. They're like different factions, and like you find out that Wayland Utani is not just a company, it's
Hold
basically a
on, hold
country.
on.
That's not me spoiling it. It's not me spoiling it, actually. Because you
You
find
say
that
that.
out right away. Like Wayland Utani is like a country. Like big some corporations took over the world and they divided the shit up.
Ah, yes. I live in
Is
Microsoft.
yes, basically how it is. And I don't know, it's getting to see the real like the human politics and see the androids with other humans and how other humans treat the androids like on Earth. And I think the best part of that show is we meet other aliens, like not xenomorphs,
Hmm.
which was the best. And there's like one particular alien who they were like teasing the whole season, but didn't really get out until the season finale. And if it would have ended on a cliffhanger just before we were getting one of the best parts, getting to know one of the best aliens of the whole franchises, I'd have been so pissed. But we're getting season 2 and they can officially explore that. I just hope they don't drop the ball. Highly recommend. It's a definite cash. If you got Hulu or you got other means, you should watch Alien Earth. It's really good. I think it's superb.
I'm excited to eventually watch it. When it comes to TV shows these days, I'm definitely way behind on a lot. Um, but I'm glad this is getting to season 2. Production on season 2 Alien Earth will begin in London in 2026. And additionally, which Mark might like this news as well, the creator Noah Hawley has signed an overall deal with FX and Disney Entertainment Television. So we might be seeing some more newer projects from him in the future, which he's already shown that he can do more than enough than he did with Legion and Fargo on FX as well. So good news for him. Let's move on. Me and Mark were just talking about this earlier today, and we have some more returning actors for Scary Movie 6. Um, so first up, we're getting Chris Elliott back, who played the creepy butler in Scary Movie 2. We are also getting Sherry O'Terry back, who was Gail Hailstorm in the first Scary Movie. And we also joined by Damon Wayans Jr., Kim Wayans, and Heidi Gardner. So we're unclear who which roles they'll be taking on. We don't really have any like specifics on what characters they're going to be doing, or even which specific horror movies they're going after. Like we had an idea of what like the movies that Sean wanted to like kind of possibly do in here, but we don't have any specifics yet. So I'm just interested in seeing what's going to come of this. But given the return of Gail Hailstorm, if that's who she'll be playing, I mean, the Scream like spoof is inevitable here. In addition to the fact that that possibly Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega might be making cameos in this movie, so I'm excited for what comes of that. I know Mark is too. We're hoping it's going to be a good one. Um, I mean, it has to be. If this shit sucks, then just leave it. If the Wayans can't get it right anymore, then yeah, just leave it behind.
I just feel like this just the Gen Zs, the kids, they very sensitive. They're very conservative. So I
See,
feel
I
like they're
feel
gonna
like
have an
you're
issue
saying
with
that,
it.
but also at the same time, it's not. I feel like everyone says that, but like, do you see the shit that Gen Z jokes about as a Gen
Yes.
Z person? like, like the shit that I see on my feeds daily, just especially on Instagram Reels, like I think that it'll fit in just fine. But also,
I'm excited. I really because I doubt they're telling us all the movies they're gonna parody. I'm pretty sure they're gonna slip a few in there. So I'm excited to see what those are.
yeah, and I'll just say also, even with like that said of like, can this generation handle like X, Y, and Z? I feel like if it's a good joke, it's a good joke. People laugh at if it's just actually funny, it's actually funny. Like just like pointing at something and laughing, like be and saying that's like the joke. Like it's not really funny. If the joke is good, it's good. Because we were just talking about how that fucking sound from Scare Movie 4 became like a trend on TikTok for like some weeks when they were using that one with Cindy and the Grudge Boy. Talk about Hibachi
Yes.
Benihana.
Yes.
And then like that shit was being used
Yes.
by all the Gen Z and a lot of them knew the context and it wasn't like finding it like racist, they thought it was funny.
Actually, you know what? I'm wrong because there are a lot of people who are like me who love to watch those reaction channels on YouTube. I know you watch at least one like reaction channel.
Hmm.
Um, and most other reaction channels have been reacting to the Scary Movie franchise the last
Yeah.
like weeks, like 2 weeks or so, and people are loving them and they liking them. So you might be right. Like this might be the perfect time,
Yeah, I think
and
if the
it's
jokes are
back in the
funny,
right hands.
it's gonna hit. But also, a lot of Gen Z has seen like they haven't seen Scare Movie, but they've seen those other like Sean movies like Haunted House 1 and 2.
Hmm.
They had jokes and shit like that in them. So I would say a lot of them seen like those type of movies as well. So we'll see
All
once
right,
we
this is
get
the
there.
perfect time. This is the perfect time. Scream 3, 4, and 5, especially 5, weren't good. But everyone can agree that those first two, not Scream, Scary Movie, my bad. Everyone can agree that those first two are classic.
Hmm.
I just flashed back to the opening of Scary Movie 2 when they're parodying The Exorcist and they're singing Shake It Fast. And they're singing Shake It Fast. Like, the team behind that movie is back. And that's all I care about.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun
And
time.
we got their true core four.
True. Um, Moving on, we're gonna speed run these last couple ones. They're just some little announcements of castings. First up, we have Nicole Kidman, who has joined Osgood Perkins, The Young People. This will be his fourth movie released under Neon, following Longlegs, The Monkey, and Keeper, which is coming out later this month, if I'm not mistaken. That is starring Tatiana Maslany, and I am interested in seeing. Um, The plot details are on the wraps, but rumors suggest the film centers on a couple of school friends, one of whom starts to develop disturbing behavior. There's also speculation that it is a cosmic horror movie. Um, some of the other actors in the project include Lola Tung, Nico Parker, who is the daughter of Thandie Newton, um, Johnny Knoxville, and also Tatiana Maslany, in addition to Heather Graham. So, probably will check that out whenever that releases. I'm interested in seeing what's coming of this new movie Keeper he has coming out. Mark, anything on that?
Nope. I
All
haven't
right.
seen that one Oscar Perkins movie as of yet. Hopefully, I will soon. I love that the Perkins family is still going strong. So I'll watch at some point. I just know that we need to get in a Stephen King retrospective,
Yeah, we'll
excluding Children of the Corn. There's too
oh
many
yeah,
of them
we ain't doing all that now.
yet.
Moving on, Toni Collette and Millie Alcock to star in survival horror thriller Hot Mother. Toni Collette, if you are not aware, was the star of Hereditary, and Millie Alcock, who I believe has not done anything horror related
Toni
yet,
Collette was the star of the United States of Terror.
and Hereditary.
One is better than the other.
Oh, this bitch.
One one commands more respect than the other.
Um, According to this synopsis, they will be playing a mother and daughter who visit a remote wellness spa for the weekend in an attempt to reconnect, but their time together quickly turns physical and psychological fight for survival when they get trapped in a sauna where no one can hear their cries for help. The movie will begin to film next year in Australia, and I believe also will be releasing next year as well, later into the year. So that's all we have on that at the time. Um, I'll check it out. I usually like Toni Collette in most things, to be quite honest. Uh, Mark doesn't sound like he's interested.
No, I'm not.
Well, moving on. We last have Jane Levy, star of 2013's Evil Dead, and Jessica Roth, star of Happy Death Day 1 and 2. They will be um, starring together in a survival slasher movie named River that will be released through Shudder. It follows three estranged siblings who reunite in their hometown after the death of their father. They set out to scatter his ashes at his favorite spot on a remote river, but when their boat breaks down, the trip devolves into a waking nightmare. Stranded miles from help with no cell service, they soon realize they're being stalked by a faceless killer who has emerged from the woods. To survive the night, the siblings must put their long-standing grudges aside and fight together against a ruthless, almost mythic terror. The survival slasher is set to be released in theaters in 2026, followed by streaming on Shudder. I'm always down for a slasher, and Jane Levy and Jessica Roth are both very good in horror. I mean, Jessica Roth was in Happy Death Day, which was a slasher itself. So I am interested in seeing what comes of this. Mark, do you think you would check this out?
No.
And lastly, which is this is more local to me and Mark, but if you also live in the Midwest, probably could be something interesting for you. Beyond Fest, which is a multi-genre film festival, but leans towards the sci-fi horror realm. They're expanding to Chicago next year in 2026 in partnership with the Music Box Theater. So they will be doing certain movie premieres and having a whole lineup at the Music Box Theater. So me and Mark are gonna have to try to get in there so we can get y'all some exclusives. The festival is usually held in Los Angeles, like the full festival, but now, yeah, they're gonna have a sub Beyond Fest Chicago. So I'm excited for what's gonna happen with that. I even though I'm like born and raised here in fucking Chicago, I've actually never went to any of the like Chicago Film Festival screenings, even though I can. Uh,
Same. I don't know
but
why. I always see the tickets go on sale and everything. It's like,
yeah, every time for me, it's more so it pops up, and then I'm like, "Fuck, I'm already doing something now," and then I forget about it. So yeah, one year I might have to like lock in and like actually just go because I some of the we actually do get some really good premieres at that festival. Um, at the one that happens here. Plus, in general, I just want to go to a film festival. Um, one year I got to do Sundance. It's just that Colorado snow. I don't know if I want to do all that, but yeah. But this sounds fun. I'm hoping that this will be either like in the summer or well, actually, the actual Beyond Festival is in the fall, so this probably be fall of next year for us. So that'll be kind of interesting. The music box is always showing us, a lot of things that we don't get in regular theaters and doing a lot of different events in the city. So support your local theaters, people. But that wraps up our Haddonfield Horrors. I've taken up a lot of our time. Let's get into Malignant, and I will pass it off to Mark.
well, let's get into Malignant. Now, I remember the hype around this movie when it was first coming out. I believe this is one of those HBO Max movies, well, HBO movies that went to theaters and then immediately went to HBO Max. Am I right? Because I remember watching this on HBO Max at home. I don't think I've
I
ever seen this
believe
in theaters. And
I believe it went to HBO Max because it was during COVID.
okay, yes, yes, because I saw this at home, and I honestly didn't know what the hell I was getting into. I didn't know any press about it. I just knew it was James Wan. It was horror movie, and I was starved for horror movies at the time because it was COVID, so we wasn't getting much, and I was locked in. I was. I remember I had roommates at the time, and we were all watching it. And I remember when it started, and I once I got to feel like 20 minutes in, I was like, "Oh, this is giving giallo." My roommates had no idea what that was, and I think a lot of people didn't know what that was from the initial reactions I was seeing. But I love the callbacks to the giallo um, genre of horror from Italy. We got to review some of those movies at some point. But I like the I like what this movie. I'm trying to say I like the ambition that this movie has. I just think it was kind of clunky in its execution. But it's a decent movie. But what are your overall thoughts, Torn?
I I knew nothing when I first watched this movie, because I definitely did see it on HBO Max when it came out around the time, and I knew nothing going into it. The trailer like really didn't give much away either, which I mean that's a good thing. And but I knew it was James Wan, like James Wan, so I was on board for it. And when I tell you this is one of the most batshit crazy movies I'd seen when I first watched it. Like I was just not expecting where this story was going at all. Um, but it was very intriguing. I like the way that it was presented. I will say I'm not like very in tune with giallo or know much about the genre, but I do like wacky out there shit. So I was like fully on board for what this movie like was going for. Um, and how and how serious it was being played for how wacky it was. That made it even better. Like how serious like the actors were like taking it for the story being presented, which is needed. Like it was needed for the movie, and it made it better because of it. Um, and I guess that kind of goes into the performances as well. Like everybody did their things here. I thought that Annabelle Wallace, this was a way better performance for her than what we got in Annabelle. That shit sucked. She was good here. and I enjoyed the ride like the whole time. The set design was really good, especially in that house. When I found out from like behind the scenes stuff that whole house was a set, that was a really good set that they built for like for this movie. In addition to just like the how out there some settings were, like the whole fucking attic that she had with that big ass fan inside, industrial sized ass fan that was above was in her house. Like, what do you mean this is in the house? It looks like we're in a factory right now. Or that Art Deco ass police department. Like, what is this? Like, it's just
But
so out
that's
there,
what
but it
giallo
works.
is, though. Giallo puts like gory stuff and mix it in with like the goofy, outlandish, over the top shit. Like, so I feel like you would love like a giallo movie. 'Cause
Well,
if you
I
like the
don't
vibe,
know
this is
because I didn't
given.
really like Suspiria.
Suspiria is not really.
I mean,
Suspiria,
it was
I
number
wouldn't
one.
call that giallo. It's like it's like base. It's like what Malignant is. It's inspired by, but it's not one of. Let's move on to some of the scenes and kills that stood out, good, bad, or indifferent. And for me, the scene that stood out for me because it's always just so random when they just randomly drop that Gabriel has been feeding on his sister's fetuses. That's why she's having miscarriages. I was like, who the fuck thought of that? Like, what the fuck? But then it also makes sense,
It does.
which is the worst part. It makes total sense. And I was like, okay. And I also want to say, just for overall, those transitions,
They were great.
amazing. Just those transitions were so good. Like,
Fucking
I can't even explain it. I can't even explain it. Just like the way they just like it's like when you do like the watercolor shit. How we just melt into each other. It's so hard to explain. But those transitions, if y'all seen the movie, if you know, you know. The transitions are fucking smooth.
yeah, though transitions were really good. I liked a lot of the camera movement that was going on. That top down view of the house, where it was kind of giving us like a
Insane.
dollhouse vibe. Love that.
Insane.
Um, that was really cool. The way that he was kind of because one thing I can say about James Wan is that you can see his progression in a lot of his movies, and like a lot since he's been so varied in the movies that he's picked up, he's able to utilize a lot of that different style, those different styles now in movies that he's probably really wants to do, like these, like in the fight choreography scene, we're getting that kind of dynamic movement that he was using in Aquaman when he was doing fight scenes in there, or like in other portions where the camera movement was kind of going crazy, and it was reminding me of like did uh when he did like Fast and Furious or something. So like it's just like how much his work has been able to impact where he's at now, and you can kind of see it like ongoing. And I think he did a really good job with this one and kind of pairing all that together for like how batshit crazy this movie is. Like when we had that scene when Cocoa was following Gabe into the bottom of the like into the basement of the fucking city. Like, why was it giving me like the further vibes from Insidious when he was down there with all that fucking smoke and stuff? Like, it was different. It was crazy. So, like a lot of stuff here just worked out really good. Um, that was great. One scene in here that always gets me is so fucking funny every time when Gabriel throws that fucking chair in the
And
police
whacks them on
station.
top of the head, bro. Crack their ass on top of the head.
When I saw that shit for the first time I watched the movie, I had to pause. I was laughing so hard because I was not expecting it to connect like that and get both of them. That was so funny. Um, Plus, anytime I just saw Gabriel, because of the way the movement looked, it was just so. Obviously, it was unnatural. It was supposed to be like unnatural looking and feeling, but when he would like run away and you could see like he's scurrying, but the legs are moving in opposite direction, like it was funny. It was hilarious. Um, Another one when he killed the doctor, when Gabriel killed the doctor in the bed, like it was just so like it was just so gory and how it was. Not like I was gonna say not in a bad way, but I mean we didn't review Terrifier. None get past me anymore. But like it was just so like out there. I'm like, damn, he is still stabbing his face right now. Like what? Like, sir, he's dead. uh, just shit like that. It was just all out here. Um, when we cannot forget about the damn prison holding cell scene when she peels her fucking head back to reveal Gabriel to us after we seen that uh video that the sister and the mom was watching. In fucking insane, and then proceeds to kill everybody in that bitch. Also, why was there a '70s disco lady with the afro in the with
Right?
and
Like,
like
what
they
was
all look
that?
they all look like they were caricatures, and it was so funny to me though. I'm like, what do you mean this gruff lady is in here with a '70s disco um lady with the afro, and we got like it was given like GTA or something. Like that was just so it was just so out there, so out of pocket. Like I loved it. I like a lot of people. I know a lot of people did not like this movie, but I fucking love this movie.
I enjoy this movie. It's funny, it's campy, it's insane.
Yes, and I love me some good
Um,
camp.
yes. But yeah, Gabriel hitting him beside the head
So
with the
funny.
chair is top tier. Top tier. Um, I got why we needed the boy, the husband. He got us to Gabriel, but I just felt like that part wasn't needed. I feel like we could have got Gabriel a different kind of way. It could have been a bump of the head. It could have been an accident. I don't think we needed the abusive husband because that felt like overkill almost.
I get it, but I guess the whole thing was supposed to be like her taking her body back, like taking back everything, and he had to go in order for that to happen.
That make a little sense. I can go with that. Okay, but were there any other scenes that stood out for you? Good, bad, or indifferent?
When the mama fell from the roof,
Uh,
that was
mhm.
that was so unexpected. And then when Gabriel called Kakoa and the other officer in the in like the little like interview holding room, and they were like, "Oh, this bitch was not lying. They for real, Gabriel was here." I would have been shitting myself if I was them.
And it looked like that cop ain't get enough because he just beat you at the police station. You gonna follow them to the hospital?
Bro, Kakoa was a
Uh,
real one. What do you mean he fell 3 stories and got up after falling in
No,
that
he
fucking
jumped. That man jumped.
and then got right back up off that damn garbage can? Like his whole arm ain't shattered right now. And then he went to the
Crazy.
further.
He went some fucking way.
That's all I got for scenes though.
Oh, well, let's move on over to the character section. Let's start with Detective Shaw and Detective Moss, the two cops that we follow through this movie because it was given saw a cop plot in a Malignant movie, and guess this is what we was doing. They was on his case. They was gonna figure out who was doing the killing.
Um, my thoughts are, I want to see Kakoa in a room in which there are no others. Um, that was my thoughts the whole time. But he was, hey, he was on it. His ass was Johnny on the spot. He was like, "All right, we chasing him down the hallway, we chasing him out the damn, um, out the damn apartment complex. Fuck it, we gonna jump off the rail and the fire escape and fall down, and land on land on the garbage can outside and keep chasing them into the basement of the city where it looked like the further down here some shit go happen, and for some reason there's a horse carriage that Gabriel's jumping over, but we still in it." Like Kakoa, his ass was on the case. Um, Moss, she was funny as hell throughout the movie. I liked how unserious she was throughout the whole thing. But and then when they both get hit by the chair together, like thing one and thing two, that shit, as I mentioned before, funny as hell. But what I will say about them is that while they were like, okay, she had to have done this. Like that's what, like at least in their thing, they were like, okay, she had to have done this because like, who else is it? They were still willing to hear her out, especially Kakoa. Like they were still willing to hear her
hmm
out. Like they hired the um I forget who the lady was that visited the hypnotherapist. They hire like the hypnotherapist and stuff to try to help her out, things of that matter. Going and trying to like figure out what was going on with her. So that's what I will say. They weren't doing that. They weren't like those kind of cops where they're like, no, like there's no supernatural or outside of the ordinary answer for this. Like she did this, she's just covering it up. Blah blah blah. I feel like Moss more so was a little bit on that, but even still, like she was willing to like hear Kakoa out on it and like kind of see what was going on. So I will say I did like that about them as like officers, because you know the officers in horror movies can be some of like the worst characters sometimes because of like how they paint them to either believe or not believe the um like main character.
That is a valid point. But now let's move over to Dr. Florence. Dr. Florence Weaver. Now, I felt sorry for her because I mean, well, she was kind of cruel. She said we gotta cut that shit out. We just gotta cut it out. And like, yeah, the way she said it was mean, but she had a point. Like that girl couldn't walk around with that thing on her head like that. It
Mm-mm.
had to go. But he fucked her up though. I ain't gonna. He killed her so bad. Oh no. Oh, Dr. Florence. What are your thoughts on Dr. Florence Weaver?
I really don't have any thoughts on her, to be quite honest.
Okay.
She I feel like she did what she had to do. Because I mean, what do you? Sorry, just like you said, like what is she? What's she supposed to do? Especially with how violent Gabriel was. Like we saw those people at the beginning of the movie. They were fucked up. So something had to be happen. So something had to happen there, and she did what she had to do. Shit, I'm surprised at how well the damn surgery was that she was able to push him back into her skull like that and close it up. So
Mm,
did what needed to be done. Quite honestly,
yep. Valid. Like she got, yeah, he had to go, and she sent his ass in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
But let's move on to Sister Sydney. What did you think about Sydney?
Sydney was a real one. Like that wasn't
She
even
was.
like if she wasn't even Madison wasn't even her like bio sister, but Sydney
I
like
mean, she
they
did.
was
She didn't know that. Sydney didn't know that.
no, I know, but like even after she found out, like she was like, well, that's my girl, and I'm about to help her figure out what's going on. She drove up to fucking Arkham Asylum and started digging around for files. Like, what do you mean? Like you're in an abandoned mental hospital looking for files on your sister to see what was going on with her when she was younger. That's a real one down. Like we saw what that building looked like from the outside. You going in there for your sibling, Mark?
No. Am I coming back? Ain't no guarantee I'm coming back out. So why am I gonna go in there?
Exactly, exactly. That's why Sydney is the real one. You saw she almost parked her damn car off the edge of a cliff to go in that damn building. Why she parked so close to that damn cliff? She Sydney was a real one. She pulled up the hospital and everything. She got if she wouldn't have said that line, she probably Madison wouldn't even probably still be there at the end of the movie if she didn't say that line about the what Gabriel was doing to her kids when she was trying to have a baby. Sydney's the
Damn.
is the MVP of the movie actually.
Yeah, she did more than I would do. I'm sorry, fam. But she did more than I would do. Um, but I'm proud of her for that. I really am. Somebody had to do it because it wouldn't be me. But let's move on to Madison. Now, craziest story ever. Like, you have a parasitic twin on the back of your head who's been dormant this whole time. Well, has he been dormant? Or, well, okay, wait. So well, they stuffed in Gabriel. They stuffed in Gabriel after the knife incident. Am I correct?
Wait, say that again.
They stuffed Gabriel in the back of her head after the knife incident,
They stuffed Gabriel
right?
into her head after I know I think it was probably more so after that.
No, the knife incident when she had the knife at her mom's belly.
Well, no, I don't think no. At that point, Gabriel was in the head.
I thought that was one of the reasons why they stuffed Gabriel in the head.
No, because the family they didn't know.
Mm,
The adopted family didn't know. So all
yeah,
that
I missed that
happened
part.
prior. All that happened prior to her getting adopted. Because remember, the mom found out at the same time as Sydney. They just thought Gabriel was her imaginary friend.
Okay, okay, okay. I think I might have missed that. That makes sense. Well, what are your thoughts on Madison?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'll give you a second. I will say, as much as I did like this movie, Madison, she wasn't doing that much.
She
Um,
wasn't a good protagonist.
yeah, let me get it together. So Madison, I feel was a good character to be like this vessel for the story to move along. And while she did have like obviously her being a protagonist, like her main thing was at first we see her with her husband very obviously abusive and she's just stuck in a hard place. He gets out the picture and then she loses her child and now she's going through this tumultuous thing to try to figure out what's happening to her or around her. But I will say it felt like a lot of things were just happening around her because of Gabriel, who we're going to get into. But I feel a lot of things were just happening around her because of Gabriel taking that control away from her, which was a big thing. And the movie was about, like, I guess, the crux of the issue being that she doesn't have control over her body, which is the main theme I felt throughout the whole movie. And she gets that control back at the end and locks Gabriel out, and then like is able to, and learns that that strength was already inside of her the whole time. It wasn't like Gabriel pulling it out of her. Like she was able to do these things, and that's fine once we get to the end. But all the little in between kind of nuggets of that, because the autonomy is kind of pulled away from her, she doesn't get to do much. But the performance that Annabelle Wallace gives us her while these things are happening is very good. So I don't. So I don't. So I don't want to say like she's bad protagonist per se, but because of the autonomy that was taken away from the character throughout a lot of the things that were happening in the movie, it kind of leaves it feeling that way. But it's purposeful because of the story.
I guess I get that. I
Yeah,
get that.
that's the best way I could put it.
What are your thoughts on Gabriel then?
Hey, this motherfucker. Gabriel was outside. He was outside doing his hot girl shit. Just stabbing up all the doctors and whatnot. Um, I just want to know, like, how the fuck he learned to do all that shit? Like all the acrobatic shit. He was because
I mean,
when
had
say again,
I mean he was probably just observing. Actually, no. How did he learn that? What the fuck?
he was doing a lot of acrobatic shit, and like I would say now, if it was said that like Madison was like a gymnast or something when she was younger, I like, or just something mentioned like that, I'll be like, okay, it makes sense. Like Gabriel's just using because they share a brain, but she wasn't doing none of that when she was younger with him inside of her, especially when he had a little more access. Um, but now that she's older, how he just pop out and like we doing flips and shit and contorting down like fire escapes and all this other shit like that. So I don't know. It was just a little. That was just a little out there, but I'm not complaining. It was funny to see. Um, outside of that though, Gabriel, he had a point because like while yes, was he grotesque? Was he grotesque? Yes, and he was
Mm-hmm.
violent on the back of Madison, but he was supposed to be a fully formed person, and now he's attached to the back of his sister.
I'd be mad
And
too.
and it's like yes, it's like I get that. It's like yes, I get that. I'll also be mad, but we can't just be killing people all willy nilly.
I mean, the
Like he
people
was.
he killed did try to cut him up. So
I mean, you're right, but I mean, but even at the beginning though, like just the regular nurses and shit, like we had like three nurses down in the room before the Weaver got in there. But yeah, it's like I understand that you know you want to be a real boy, but I'm sorry, we gotta cut out the cancer, baby.
yeah, like I get, I get it. I get his beef. I do. I really do. But like you went wild. The police officer didn't deserve that. They didn't do nothing to you. No, I got why you had smoke for all the doctors. Got it. But those people, them other people, they did nothing to you. You could have left them alone. But enough about that. You can give us the behind the scenes info and facts.
That I can. The budget for *Malignant* was $40 million, and it brought in a box office of $34.9 million. It actually looks like I was incorrect about it being on HBO first. So I just do want to correct that. I thought it came out in 2020. It actually was 2021. But *Malignant* was released theatrically in the United States on September 10th, 2021 by Warner Bros. Pictures, and was also available to stream on HBO Max. So it was one of those dual releases. So you were correct about that. In 2022, filmmaker Adam Costco filed a lawsuit against James Wan and Ingrid Bisu, claiming the film had plagiarized content from a screenplay he had written titled Little Brother, which he had claimed they both had previous access to. Details of the lawsuits pointed out that both screenplays featured a twist that the protagonist has her twin brother absorbed inside her in the form of a malignant tumor, an inciting incident where the main female character is a victim of violence at the hands of a man that allows the twin to take over her body, and scenes of hypnotherapy in which the protagonist recalls repressed memories from childhood, among other things. The lawsuit was eventually settled out of court in 2024, with details not discussed. So that man got some money. The story was inspired by real-life cases of teratomas, which are a type of tumor that contain bone, hair, and teeth. Some critics' reactions. The film currently sits at a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. Bloody Disgusting rated the film 3.5 out of 5, saying it's silly, outrageous, and it's a blast. Hollywood Reporter was more critical, writing the film might have been outrageously bizarre fun if it displayed any humor or ironic self-consciousness, but everything is played so straight that the viewers will find themselves laughing not with the film, but at it. Some critics suggested the film was intended as parody or self-parody, with RogerEbert.com also giving the film 1 out of 4 stars, describing it as a horror movie that is as long as it is underwhelming.
Enough about them. What about us? Do we cash or pass? Malignant. For me, I'll give it a cash. It's an enjoyable movie. Is it like the best thing I've ever seen? No. Is it or a cinematic masterpiece? No. But is it watchable? Yeah, I give it a cash. Go on.
I will also be giving this a cash. I actually, like I said, I do like this movie. It's funny. It's really funny to me. I know it's like not funniness is not meant to be the whole thing of it, but it's, as the review mentioned, it's played so straight that it can't not be funny to what's happening, like the outrageousness of what's happening here. It's campy. I love me a camp moment. So yeah, I was on board here. I give this cash, and I definitely will be, rewatching this one on my own.
But join us next week as we review Weapons, a movie that had a lot of buzz surrounding it before and after its big release. But like I said, that's for next week. Until then, good night.
If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elian Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a letter to media production.
Should we do an intro?